What up, Talkin fight fans? Thanks for tuning in to today's special episode of Knuckle Up at 4 with Mike Orr and my man Cedric Benn. And today we have him in the studio, Reshat Mati, the Albanian Bear. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How you guys?
Good, man. Good. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to come and join us here and talk to the fans about your story, man. It is a great one. You've been highly ranked as a combative sports competitor since you were a young child, man. How did you start? Like, what age did you start? When did you get into it?
Well, I started off as a self-defense. I was always a small kid when I was growing up. So, my parents told me right. They always told me to respect everybody and teach everybody good. But, I was always small. So, a lot of those bigger kids wanted to pick on me. So, we started defense, and I'm a person that's always liked to try and always likes to make things competitive.
Right.
So, make everything competitive. So, they're like, let's try to do some competitions. And, later on I started winning. So it just became more of a thing for me.
Right. So did you, your first combative sport, did you get into kickboxing first or was it boxing or, because I know you've done it all, right? Like Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, grappling, everything.
Yeah. So I used to train at Tiger Showman's. That's where I started off in self-defense and all that stuff. So I started off as kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. But, outside of them, because it's only just Tiger Showman's, but outside of them, I started off with grappling. Then later on, the kickboxing tournament started coming in. All the other good stuff started coming in. So it was mainly, the ground game was what we were focusing on first, but then it led on to boxing and kickboxing and all the other stuff.
And what world ranked as a kickboxer and how many belts, man? How many belts did you pull through?
I can go by like tournaments alone,
Okay.
The kickboxing tournaments, I had two world championships alone in WK. I got second place actually in the Wacko Worlds, but I kind of got screwed over there. I know I won that fight.
Okay.
It's weird with kickboxing. You go to the world, you compete worlds, but you have professional levels that can go down, kind of like in the Olympics.
Right.
Have it, and they kind of bring them down, and it was a little weird, because you're underage. I was time, and I'm like, yeah, you're fighting pros, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Okay. And it was just it was a crazy experience. It was a good experience. I really liked it. It was fun. It was in Ireland too, so I'd never been to Ireland, so I'll try it out and see how everything goes.
When did boxing come into the picture?
I was about 6 or 7 years old when I started boxing. I was never really a technical boxer when I was younger. I was always just like, pick the hands up and just start swinging. And it's crazy because my first fight, he's a good friend of mine now. We've always been teammates now. But, Bruce Carrington.
Shoo.
Yeah. It was my first fight. It was like his 30th, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
But he was young already, too. So there was 4 guys, me, Shoo, and there was 2 other guys, and 2 other guys kind of backed out. They were like, yeah, we're not fighting him. We don't want to do a draft. And I was like, who Shoo was at the time. So I was like, let's fight.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like this, and I thought it would start off. So I started off my amateur career 0-1.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It was close. I thought I had it, but,
What could you say is like the difference in training between training for boxing and training for kickboxing? Obviously kicks, but like what else as far as cardio or other little things could you say is the difference?
Training to amateur boxing and professional boxing are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Let alone, 2 different sports. 'Cause some days that you can work on kicking, straight kicking and all different types of things when it comes to kickboxing and other martial arts. Boxing it's a little bit different. You have different, especially in the professional levels. Professional levels, you have to, you have certain days where you're sparring. You have certain days that you're doing this, and there's different levels to it. Definitely when I turned pro, it was like a big difference when it came to camps, because then it became camps.
Right.
So we had time to, make sure our conditioning was right, make sure everything was right. So like right now, I'm a week and a half away. About 5-6 pounds away already, so I'm doing great already when it comes down to weight cutting, and I'm not struggling. So, and I'm going down in weight too. So it was 47. Now I'm going down to 145. Slowly going down to 140. And yeah, it's getting better.
So how long did you compete in the amateurs before you turned pro? Like
for which sport?
Exactly. Boxing. What was your amateur boxing record?
So it's 114-10.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't get
those losses from Shusha.
I was trying really hard to find it, but it's kind of hard to find it because you've been in so many combative sports, right? And,
oh yeah. So Boxer misses a lot of fights. Like
amateur fights, yeah, they do.
Like 22-4 looks good. You know, I saw 4 losses. You know, 6 more than missing, but it's okay.
Yeah. Right.
So, but yeah, it was. I've been doing the amateurs for a long time. You know, you compete against the best guys out there. You know, some of those guys, you know, they're stars.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I've been in the game for a long time.
Yes, you have, man. I've watched lots of videos on you, man, both in all your sports, really. Honestly, you got such a great style. You're very relaxed in the ring. You know, let me ask you, were you nervous, you know, turning over into the pro game, into the paid ranks? Did you have nerves? Because honestly, in your pro debut fight, you looked really calm, really relaxed. And is that because of all the competition that you've done before?
Yeah, and to add on to that question, I was going to ask kind of the same thing. Like, what exactly gave you the confidence to say, like, all right, I'm ready to turn pro now?
You know, I was looking to turn pro. I was never looking to turn pro. I wanted to do the Olympics first, and I was always considered doing the Olympics first. And I actually, when I was younger, I went to Albania and I competed because I was too young for the U.S. team.
Right.
And fly out to Albania, and they were like, "We can get you into the team." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." I went over there, I fought, I won, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, you're too young." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I won't do it," you know. But I went over there, and then the next year, I believe, I won the Golden Gloves. I won the national gloves, and then I won the outstanding boxer tournament too. I won the outstanding boxer of the tournament.
Yep. And
I won the college, because I was in college at the time, the US IBA, and I won the outstanding boxer of that tournament too. And I think Eddie was scouting at the time, and he actually was on me for a few years. And he said, "You know what? You know, we want to turn you pro." And I said, "Listen."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, he gave us the offer, and you know, you never see the first offer, so you know, you know, the second or the third, and at that point, I was like, you know what, it's maybe I'll just turn pro and see how it is, because U.S. boxing amateurs, man, they pick their guys that they want.
Right. A lot of politics at the amateur level. It's in most countries, in Canada too.
And you know, Teofimo Lopez saying it. You know, you've seen a bunch of these guys keep saying it, and it's true. And I hate to say it's true, but it is true. If they want you to win, they'll make you win. Same thing in professionals.
Right.
Want you to have a belt, you will have a belt, and that's without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Right. What's some of your short-term goals? Where do you see yourself in the next year or so?
Just keep winning. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in no rush. I'm 23 years old. You know, I'm still young. I'm still doing what I got to do. I just want to, you know, do these fights, you know, win, you know, and definitely put Albania on the map, you know, and that's the main goal for me at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these fighters, they get nervous and all that stuff just because, this is going back to the other question.
Yeah.
They want to, you know, look good for the promoters. They want to look good for their fans. They want to embarrass themselves, which I still get that, you know, I understand that. But, you know, who are they to me at the end of the day?
Right.
Yeah.
Going in the ring and fighting. You know, that at the end of the day, I'm the one that's getting hit. I'm the one that's taking damage. But I still want to go in there and put on a good show for everybody. So at the end of the day, everybody looks at me like, oh, that was a good fight. I actually liked watching that fight.
Yes.
Nice.
I can say that about all your fights, really, man. You're very entertaining to watch. Definitely. You got some big power in those hands, I'll tell you.
I don't really consider myself a power puncher.
Really?
I don't. I try to consider myself more of a technician and a little bit of a shit talker. So
yeah. Hey, but if you can back it up, what's the problem with it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Last 2 fights, you know, that I, you know, try to, you know, chirp a little bit, you know, and it gets the crowd going, and it kind of makes them feel alive and get them wanting to, you know, root for their other guy or something like that, you know. So it's
nice. So
Right.
you're probably used to. I mean, obviously, if you've competed at the high level as an amateur, fighting in front of different countries, in front of different crowds doesn't phase you as it does probably for like new fighters that aren't used to fighting in front of like different crowds, right?
When I fought in the US IBA, I was actually fighting the guy that won the 3 times. He won it 3 times in a row, and he had his whole family there, and everybody was chirping and everybody was screaming and oh, let's go! And I hit him and I dropped him, and everybody was quiet. And actually, it's weird because it's a weird minded to have that and like that because I'm like, listen, that felt kind of good, It kind of
Nice.
it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling for him, but for me, it felt pretty good because I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's better him than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Real quick, some couple comments. We got some people. The Albanian Life says, "Hey, let's go." Shout out to Sheila Stafford. Tommy Cano says, "Respect to the Albanian Bear."
Appreciate
and then Sweet Pete puts up the boxing glove. I've been, we've been watching boxing for quite a few years now. This is a question that I don't know. Has there been another Albanian world champion?
There was Rodman Kaznichi. I don't think it was the four major titles.
Okay.
But it was, I think one of them was an interim.
Okay. Nice.
Which is also a good friend. The Albanian community is very close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That goes on, and not a lot of people realize this because you'll see other guys like other Mexican fighters fighting other Mexican fighters. Albanians don't want to see Albanians fight Albanians.
Right.
There's no win. There's no winning in that. It's a lose-lose situation because then you beat a friend of yours, and in return, what do you gain out of it? Then people are gonna be like, "Why would you do that? Why would you fight him?"
Right.
You have a good friend of mine, Florian Marco, which he's also in the same weight.
Yeah.
He's making an impact. He's making a big impact in boxer. So
both you guys are, man. To be honest, both you guys are making a name for yourselves, man. You both got huge followers.
He's just making a little more.
His might be a little more, but I'll tell you, you're just as
you're on your way. You're on your way, man. You're on your way.
Trust me. Just by the feedback we get from our audience, man, and profiling you guys, right? So
yeah, I appreciate it. But like I said, he's doing the little bit of difference between what I'm doing. He's backing it up also. You can't say that he's not backing it up. He's fighting these tough guys and he's putting them out. But a lot of fighters like to hear a lot of fans like to hear the chirping and a lot of talking and stuff like that. So it gets you out there more. Me, I'm a little bit laid back. I just be like, listen, you'll see Saturday what I can do, and that's it, But a lot of people don't like that. They want to hear, oh, he's a little bit boring. I like to move a lot. I like to have fun, give a little shimmy, stuff like that. So I give a little bit of difference, Me, I get prepared to fight. If it's an 8-rounder, I'm getting ready to fight an 8 to 10 rounder. That's how I am. So that's pretty much how I go with it. I don't go in there looking for a knockout. I never was interested in that.
Fighting smarter, not harder, right?
Yep. And it definitely shows, man.
It's also just to add on to what you were saying, as podcast hosts and people, it's our job to promote these boxers that that have focus on good skills, not just promoting these guys just because they're good at talking, right? And so some people, you're right. Some people complain, will say something like, "Oh, he's boring." Like, well, I'm not watching for his personality. I'm watching to see how his boxing skills are. So that's why I try to emphasize that part too.
They just want to see blood. They want to see you go at it like that. That's why you see a lot of the stars that are crazy like that, like Chuck Latito and stuff like that. They love them because 8 is going there to bang. Those are short careers.
But there's a quiet part of the sport of fans that do appreciate guys like you with the skills that stay quiet, like silent assassins. All right, we appreciate guys like that. What made you, out of all your your combat options, what made you choose boxing? Let me guess. I'm assuming financial reasons. But you go ahead.
It goes either or. Listen, I've gotten offered fights like that in since I was 14 to turn pro, do all this stuff. I had offers from the UFC also as well when I was 16.
Nice.
Okay. But it required you to nothing else, just UFC. That's it. I don't want to see. I didn't like that. And I was 16 at the time, so my future was to go in the UFC. That was my main goal. That was what I looked forward to in my life. then I fought a couple of times, and I felt like, you know what, this isn't a good feeling. This kind of hurts.
Right.
So yeah, I always had a thing for boxing. You know, it was always like an art. It was like a science. It was like a chess game, and I always consider it a chess game. Because always different styles of the game, and you have to pinpoint it with just your hands. You know, MMA is different. You can, if you're not liking the guy's punching skills, you just kick him or you take him down.
Right.
Yeah.
That's boxing. You can't hold. You know, make it dirty. You know, you can't go in there and do all this stuff. So this one you have to use your brain.
Exactly.
I always say 60% mental, 40%.
Yeah.
For anybody out there that hasn't, doesn't really know you yet or hasn't seen most of your fights, which one do you think best represents your skill and ability so far out of your 11 wins?
It's tough to say because each fight I go in there looking for different ways, and I feel like I fought there, it was just kind of just different in different ways. There's sometimes you saw me going in a little bit aggressive. You saw me sometimes going a little back. Talking. I feel like a little bit more of me was maybe my last fight in Italy.
Okay. Would you say that was your toughest opponent yet to date?
No. He was somewhat tough. He hit hard, but at the end of the day, all these guys are somewhat tough. They're all tough. Everybody has one chance. They have somewhat of a chance. There was one guy that got me in Vegas. I think the fight before, I actually had my wisdom teeth removed out shortly afterwards. It was killing me. I couldn't believe it. He went over there, and his record wasn't very good. And it's something that people don't realize it. He actually just beat 2 undefeated fighters just now.
Right.
Recently. So his fights were close against undefeated guys. And we watched you guys fight, and he's tough. I still won, I believe, 5 out of the 6 rounds. One round I went in there kind of stupid and just, why not? Last round, whatever. But overall, those guys, you get the talking going, you kind of go back and forth, and it's fun.
I think you're talking about the Ryanpino fight.
Yeah.
I got my other laptop right now. I got your highlights on right now. That's the exact fight that I got right now. You versus Ryanpino.
That's the one I was watching before we actually came on and started doing the show.
There's no volume, but I see you guys. I see the mouths going. I see you guys talking shit to each other.
I was doing the same thing with my fight before that one when I fought in Florida against Dennis Okoth, which I broke my hand in the first round.
Oh wow!
Completely swollen, and I was just touching him, and I sat down in the first quarter, at the end of the first, and I said, "My hand's broken."
Oh man!
And my dad's the guy that's a little straightforward.
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't give a shit." Which is right. At the end of the day, you can't give up. In my mindset, I'm gonna throw my punches regardless. Right. So when the round came in and I stopped him in the 6th, I hit him with the right hand. He kind of like, it was like he kind of like forgot where he was, and I think he forgot where his mouthpiece was, but it was still in his mouth. And I was trying to swing at him. It wasn't hard punches, but I was just throwing punches, so he stopped throwing, and then the referee came in and stopped it. But he was a tough guy too because he was very awkward.
Right.
But
you hit somebody hard when they're looking around for their mouthpiece.
Was looking for his mouthpiece, and I stopped. I'm like, I look at the.
That's awesome.
I don't want to get disqualified.
That's awesome. We had a comment coming in from Albanian for Life YTV says, "You got to put a show together with Florian Marcu in Albania."
That's a tough situation right now because at the time we were signed together with Matchroom.
Right.
We were together with Matchroom, but he went to Boxer.
Right.
So that's a little tough. Different promoters, they're not gonna put their guys in a card where it's, unless it's a co-promotion.
Yeah, co-promotion.
Brando, Katie Taylor, the one I'm calling.
Right.
They're probably not going to do that for a card in Albania, but I think once they get it out of the way, get that card out of the way, and then I think it'll start being more of a trend.
How big is the boxing culture and scene in Albania?
It's getting a lot bigger, actually. It wasn't too crazy,
right?
before it was very little, but now you're seeing a lot of big Albanian names coming out there and fighting.
Yeah.
The a little bit of issues with Albania is a lot of guys that they are from like Switzerland, and there's Albanians in Switzerland and Italy and all that stuff, and they kind of represent that country, because they're living there.
Right.
But there's especially like in soccer, a lot of Albanians are in Germany. When they won the World Cup, there was like 7 of them,
right,
representing Germany. So that's a little different. But we all have eyes on them. It's not like we don't see them. We don't know they're Albanian, because Albanian last names are pretty.
They're pretty unique.
We see the last name, like, this guy's Albanian, and yeah. So that's what we at the end of the day, Albanians are like, we're like all like a big family. So we always try to see them become successful and all that.
We have another question that just came in. Who's your biggest influence?
It's tough to say, because I always grew up watching Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
That was the guy that he actually got me into martial arts, and then it was always George St. Pierre. He was my idol. I always looked up to him when I was a kid. Met him a few times too, which was like unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
Right. That'd be a great experience, man.
But then also, my favorite boxer of all time is Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
Yeah.
Not Junior. Senior. Right?
Yeah. Right.
He was always the guy that I always looked up to, and I try to always get his body work and something like that similar to him. But other than that, it's like, I have those 3 guys. All 3 of them have different personalities, and they always have these different ways of working. But, at the end of the day, they get the job done.
Right. Did you find it hard to balance your academics and all this combative sports that you were competing in growing up?
I think later on in my like high school was a little bit tougher. Middle school was a little tough too, because I was doing 2-3 workouts a day, so I'm going to school. I try to do my homework in lunch, try to get it out of the way, so
right.
Wouldn't have to deal with it. But yeah, I get there, do my homework as much as I can, eat, and then I have like maybe like 20 minutes to relax, 30 minutes to relax, and then go to the gym and do 2-3 workouts a day. So it was tough, but I got the job done. That's the main.
And you got the belts to prove it, right?
Yeah.
Losing count, that must be great, man. That's not too many people have that problem, losing count of how many belts they've accumulated over their time.
Yeah,
that's great.
When I was younger, I was always walking around I was fighting at whatever weight class I was walking around. So I was fighting my last amateur career, my last amateur tournament. I was fighting at 152, and I was walking around 148. They were telling me, "You crazy? Don't you want to go down to 141?" I said, "No, I don't. It's tough, because those guys, I hit them and they're looking at me laughing, and I'm like, it's gonna be a long rounds,
That's funny.
I go in there for one thing and one thing only, and I try to use my speed and my technique, and so far it's been working."
Who's your dream fight?
I never really had a dream fight.
No, eh?
Weird, because everybody who says they want a dream fight, they're always gonna go after the big names. You're gonna have all those 160s, 168s gonna call out Canelo.
Right.
You're gonna have 130, 135, 140s to fight, Ryan Garcia. So it's the same old thing. There's one guy though that's absolutely nuts. He fought Ruben, Erickson Lubin.
Okay.
And he's like 154, like 6'7", 6'8", like that dude. I'm like, how's this guy getting to like
Fundora? Yeah.
Dude, I understand why people don't want to fight him. That dude's massive.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's definitely a big boy.
And it's weird because he stays inside a lot of the fights.
Oh my god, I know. It's insane how he stays on the inside and he's really comfortable there.
Yeah, and it works, because he fought in the inside majority of the fight, and look at how he did.
And it's the complete opposite you'd think of how to fight a tall guy. Like you want to tell your fighter get on his inside, but he wants you to be on his inside because that's where he. So it's kind of weird, I
couldn't believe it. I looked at the fight. I was like, I wasn't expecting that to be honest with you. I thought Lubin was gonna take him because he likes to stay inside, but sheesh, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You had shoulder surgery back 2019, is that right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Can you run us through what that was all about? And
yeah, I actually had a tear in my bicep tendon, rotator cuff, and labrum. Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to work through it.
Is it 100? Are you back to 100% now? Like you did all the like?
Yeah, I did everything I had to do. I fought what 4 or 5 fights since.
Yeah,
Okay,
5 fights since then, and you're still undefeated.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. You know. So, yeah, but it's been going good, thank God. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been going.
Right.
Nice. What was your Mike asked you before? What was your favorite fight? But even taking it further, which training camp did you feel was your best one? Like just preparing for the fight. Sometimes there's distractions, whatever, outside distractions, whether it's family or work or whatever. But which one was your best camp? Obviously, all of them were good. You're still undefeated, so nothing affected you like that. But or even take it back to the amateurs. Which training camp for one of your highest tournaments or the pro level was your favorite one?
I'll tell you my worst camp.
Okay.
I'll tell you my worst one. That one I'll give you the answer. National Golden Gloves, the one that I won.
Okay.
I was dealing with my left shoulder. My left shoulder was kind of bothering me, and I didn't train at all. All I did was run for 2 weeks. I ran that tournament. I won the regular Ring Masters.
Yeah.
That was to qualify for the Nationals. I went there, ran for 2 weeks, and then they sent me out there to Nebraska to compete. I went over there, won 4 or 5 fights, and my coach called me. He was like, Sosa was like, "You're a crazy son of a bitch." Like,
yeah.
I was fighting, with a problem with my shoulder, and I ended up winning, 5 fights against the guys that were, top in the country with bad shoulders, and the whole thing, and only running for 2 weeks.
Wow,
so, good one, but
it's hard.
You can have good camps.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, some fights, it's not going to go the way you want it to. I think Pino was probably one of my best camps that I had. Weight was going great, and that was probably one of my poorest. It was a good fight, and it good to show different stuff. But I feel like I could have done way better. There was a lot of hiccups the week of the fight, especially fighting an opponent. Opponent was bad. We went through like 12 guys, and I think the commission turned down 12 guys. And they were all winning records. They were all like 14-1, 12-2.
Right.
But the commissioner was saying, "No, you have too much experience."
Wow.
These guys have more fights than me, professional.
Yeah. So you found that hard in the amateurs, right? Like I know that I've watched many videos and like interviews about you, and it's said that you had a lot of trouble finding opponents as you were younger. And do you find that that's starting to trickle over now into the pros?
No, because a lot of these guys they don't really say no.
All right.
The commission is. I have had guys that were 23 to 24 years old that are 11-0, 11-1, and they're like, "No, we're not ready for that fight yet." And I'm like, "How much more fights do you want? How many more?" So it's crazy because I never go around asking and be like, "Listen, let's fight." I think it was one fight that Milnicki Vito.
Yeah.
What? I guess he was the main event that fight. I think he fought in Prudential Center.
Yeah.
The guy, I forgot his name, but I actually asked for him and I said, "Listen, let's fight. You have a good record, and you're from Long Island. I'm from New York. I'm from Staten Island. You could. We're fighting in MSG. What's wrong with that? That sounds great. And it was for a vacant youth world title, and he said no twice. And I said, I don't, what can you do?
Right.
Like that. So
right.
I never did it. But I guess they have different perspectives and stuff like that. So, hey, if you want to take those fights, take those fights. At the end of the day, I'm here to do my thing, and that's it. Honestly,
man, we love watching you do your thing. You got a longevity in this sport for sure. You definitely got great ring skill, man. Enjoy watching you fight all the time. I can't wait to see you at the end of the month, man. Come through with another big W. It's going to be great to see.
That's it.
I'm super excited and stoked. What's the end goal when you're ready to give it up and you're done? You're ready to hang it up and retire. What do you want to be remembered for in the sport?
Listen. At the end of the day, history is a little bit different when it comes to this sport because there's always going to be those guys that were. There's always going to be another guy that comes in and takes your place.
Right.
That's that. I'm just here to make an impact for the Albanian community. At the end of the day, that's one thing that's always stays dear to my heart. That's something that's always been in my mind. Be like, listen, this guy was the name for Albania. Obviously you have like good friends like Mark, and stuff that they're right now the faces of the Albanian community when it comes to boxing.
Right.
But I'm going there to just pretty much steal the show. History wise, I want to win a world title. That's one thing that's always been in my mind. But also, I'm looking to get paid.
Yeah, hey, they don't. It's not called prize fighting because you don't get paid. So
yeah,
this
is a job. So at the end of the day, belts. You got to put the money involved with it too. So
that's right.
We got to get it up like that, and then I'm not looking for a long career.
Yeah.
They always say staying in the game too long, and you kind of embarrass yourself. That's not gonna be me. I'm looking to be out there. Early 30s, I'm out. I'm retired. I want to. I've sacrificed all my childhood for this.
Exactly.
I've sacrificed all my life at this point so far. I've missed vacations. I've missed a lot of certain stuff. I missed a lot of birthdays. I missed a lot of stuff like that. So it's not a good feeling. Weight cutting sucks. I hate it.
Yeah.
So, it's you gotta have time for you, and that's the best point. I want to make the most money I can, build my legacy as fast as I can, and retire happy.
And retire with still being able to talk and keep a sentence together. You know what I mean? Right? Do you want to be loved or do you want to be feared?
Man, I don't care. Or you can love me, you can hate me. I can care less. At the end of there, that's one thing I realized. Also, as well, my professional career, I wanted everybody to like me.
Yeah.
You want somebody, you want everybody to like you. I never, as a person, I never wanted anybody to not like me because I always feel like, listen, respect me. I'll respect you. Respect me. Cool, we're good. But at the end of the day, people tend to step over you.
Right.
So what happens is you start learning. Now at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what anybody says about me.
Right.
It's kind of like how Kyrie Irving and like Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
In the beginning, all of them they wanted somebody to like them. They wanted everybody to love them. But you look at them now.
Yeah. They don't care.
Because at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. They've contributed so much, and to have people at the end of the day, talk down on them and call them a piece of shit and then flip them off and do all this. For me, at the end of the day, I'm not looking to be loved. I don't care.
No, you're just looking to do you and put those belts away and start at her, right?
There's always one thing in my mind is when I have the big opportunity and stuff like that, let it be in his hometown. I don't care. I just want to shush the crowd.
That's it. That's it. That's the satisfaction. That's what you're working for, right?
I want the satisfaction. I want everybody to realize, I'm here to, shake up the crowd and kind of ruin their day.
Yeah.
I want to wear the black hat.
Yeah, that's right. We got another question coming in for Albania for life. All right, I gotta ask you, favorite food.
Diet food or like food, like anything?
Food, anything. I guess that's what you want to know.
Depends on the mood. I would have to say either my mom's lasagna, telling you. When my fight got canceled in November, my mom had leftover lasagna. I said, warm it up, I'm coming home. And I killed about like 3 or 4 slices, like pieces of lasagna. That and New York City pizza.
Yeah, man. Oh,
can't go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with New York City pizza, man.
Nope. Those 2 things, those are definitely my 2 weaknesses. And then what can go any better? With a nice drink, it's a nice Mountain Dew.
Yo, there you go. There you go. Albanian for life. I hope you like that one. There you go. Did that answer your question?
Yep. That's
excellent. It. I'm not going to keep it too much longer. I'm just going to ask you one last question, man.
No problem.
The nickname, where'd it come from?
Oh, that's tough, because it was weird. It started happening more often because originally my nickname in boxing was, Baby Punch, was when I was a kid. But when you go older, it used to be Mad Dog.
Okay.
So a lot of people were Mad Dog, Mad Dog. Then all of a sudden, they're like, let's go Albanian Bear. And I guess because, like I said, I was never technical when I was a kid.
Right.
When mid-age, like 12, 13 years old, I was always, sitting there hands up and swing. So every time I had somebody hurt, I was walling on them. I was trying to, take their heads off. So I guess that was where it was. And also, I always had to carry arms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't say now. I kind of, trimmed up my arm hair and my leg hair. I can't say nothing now, but
Right.
I guess I don't have a beard like yours, but I guess nice.
Yeah, man. Oh no, mine gets a little up there. It's a little hectic, man. It's
no. Listen,
that's it.
I
Okay.
beard like that, and I want my mustache to kind of go curl.
The curl, the nice curl.
And I want it curled up. So,
there we go.
it's almost there.
That's awesome. Honestly, just stick around as we sign off, and I'll say goodbye to you after in the green room. But to all the fans that are watching around the world, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Knuckle Up with my man Reshat Mati, the Albanian Bear, coming to join us with this great interview. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, brother. I know you got this fight coming up. We will definitely be watching you. We'll be supporting you 100%. And honestly, I want to get you back in the studio and talk after your fight, man.
Let me know.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all the fans that dropped all the comments, man. Thank you for the love and respect. You know what it is, man. To everybody out there, talkinfight.com. Hit up that subscribe, buy that membership, get your chance for some exclusive content and perks. And we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. New prospect. You know what it is. Peace.